In today's video, we'll be discussing a topic that can greatly impact your career prospects, and that's creating an exceptional CV.
Resume.
Eye tracking research has shown that an HR professional will review your CV for a mere 7 seconds.
Okay, I've reviewed your application.
Your CV is potentially the only opportunity you have to sell yourself to a recruiter. This is the one for me that's just so important, that is so often overlooked. This is part 3 in our career management series. Our first video was the 6 things that got me to a 6-figure salary by the time I was 30. Now here are some effective methods to craft an outstanding CV. Pay attention to formatting. Getting a strong first impression really encourages the reader to carry on reading. And make sure you're using a consistent format throughout your CV. It kind of makes it easier to read.
To email through my CV and then wow him with a big pitch.
You know, your CV's appearance matters. Pay attention to the formatting that you're going to use. Make sure you're using a clean and professional design. And I think the opening of your CV is really important. You want to create a document that kind of intrigues the reader. They sort of are looking down, they're thinking, yeah, this person's got this skill that we're looking for, that skill that we're looking for, and it encourages them to carry on reading down the page. And use a free online CV builder to help format your CV. This can save you a bunch of time and effort. Every job you apply for, you should customize your CV. How to write a masterpiece resume. One of the things that they talk about a lot in the book is how your application has to be tailored to the job that you're applying for. It might be a short-term time saver, but it will increase the probability that you won't get the job at all.
Oh, they'll play great in the job interview.
It can be really easy to fall into the mindset of another job application. They won't spend long reading it anyway, but it's precisely because they may not spend long reading it that you need to have a good CV. These days you've really got to avoid sending out generic CVs. Tailor your document to each specific job application and emphasize the skills and experience that align with the company's requirements. Quantify your achievements. Whenever possible, quantify your accomplishments by providing tangible evidence of your success. Peter F. Drucker, a renowned management consultant, once said, "What gets measured gets managed." And this is really backed up in the resume solution, that the need to quantify your achievements is so important. And it really goes from a "I think I did this" to a "here's the proof I did this." In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, they really emphasize the importance of having a clear vision in your professional life. And this for me is really the most important one, and the thing that makes such a difference between a good CV and a bad CV, and that is keeping it concise. Richard Branson talks about keeping your CV really concise and well structured.
Concise.
Avoiding lengthy paragraphs and using bullet points instead to highlight key information. I've been through CVs that are pages and pages long, and the problem is, the recruiter doesn't really know what they're looking at, and it can be kind of difficult to separate the woods from the trees.
Now, Coach Lasso may not have a CV that you all find acceptable.
Really making sure that your CV is easy to read should absolutely be a priority, and I think this is something that is so often overlooked. You really should be removing words like go-getter, team player, and go-to person from your resume. It sort of comes off as fluff, and you waste what could otherwise be precious space on your CV. These days, having a career objective section only really makes sense, I think, if you're going to move from one career to another. You're making a really big change. Highlight relevant skills and experience. Make sure you tailor your CV to showcase the skills and experience that are directly relevant to the position you're applying for. In Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg talks about how it's really important to highlight your crucial strengths. Author Martin Yates says your CV should emphasize the relevant skills that you've got, highlighting highly transferable skills and your ability to excel in specific positions. Use action verbs. Employers respond well to action-orientated language in CVs. Begin bullet points by describing your responsibilities and achievements with strong action verbs. Action! Donald Asher emphasizes the use of action verbs and quantifiable achievements. Words like achieved, initiated, or increased demonstrate your accomplishments, while quantifying them with percentages or numbers adds impact. In the book Evil HR Lady by Suzanne Lucas, one of the things she talks about is that the modern world is so dynamic and is constantly evolving that you really have to demonstrate continuous learning, that you're constantly picking up new challenges and you're constantly learning new skills, including testimonials or recommendations. If you've received positive feedback from previous employers or colleagues, consider including a chunk of it at the bottom as a testimonial or recommendation.
They want testimony.
These endorsements can provide credibility and give employers an insight into your work ethic and character. According to a study conducted by LinkedIn, profiles with recommendations are more likely to be viewed by potential employees.
This interview's over, and I get the job.
Jack Welch stresses the importance of proofreading your CV and making sure you make any last-minute edits. Spelling or grammatical errors can leave a negative impression on recruiters. Incorporating keywords. In the digital age, many employers are using applicant tracking systems to screen CVs, so this will increase your chances of getting through the initial screening by making sure you've got relevant keywords in your CV. Research the job posting and industry-specific terms to optimize your CV's visibility. And this is backed up in the book The 2-Hour Job Search by Steve Dalton. The importance of keywords cannot be overstated. So let's quickly recap and go over some of the things that we've discussed.
Let's recap.
Having a CV that's really concise is going to be so important. Less than 2 pages is absolutely ideal. The second thing is, where possible, using proactive language. The third point is you really need to be focusing on sort of actionable words and providing evidence where possible. Instead of saying, I increased sales, by how much, by what percentage. This provides kind of a solid foundation and a solid basis for what you're talking about in your CV. And in my view, actually sitting down with a professional CV writer is a really good investment. And even if they kind of charge a bit of money, it's an investment that will pay for itself quite quickly. If you like this video, make sure you've liked and subscribed, and comment down below. What do you think? Do you think we've got some of this wrong? Do you think there are things that we've left out which should definitely be included? I really want to know what you guys think, and building a community where we can share all these kinds of information is going to be absolutely key. So like, subscribe, comment below.